Welcome, friends. This is Harshad Parekh inviting you to listen to some of my short writings on philosophy, religion, psychology, spirituality, education, Krishnamurti, and nature. I hope you have a good listening. This is audio tape number 101, article number 681. It is about visiting Theosophical Society in Netherlands. Yesterday we visited Omen in Netherlands. The Castle Erde was and the surrounding estate of about 4,000 acres of forest was given to Krishnamurti for his use by the owner Baron Philip van Pallandt in 1920s. Krishnamurti was the head of the organization called the Order of the Star in the East, a part of Theosophical Society. Krishnamurti held yearly camps and spoke to thousands of his Theosophist followers on this land. But finally, in 1929, Krishnamurti dissolved this organization by his famous speech, "Truth is a Pathless Land." Krishnamurti returned the Castle Erde and the whole estate back to the Baron. Krishnamurti was not interested in money, power, fame, etc. Article number 682. It is about breaking habits. Many years ago, a friend asked, quote, "How does one prepare oneself to break through the habitual activities of thinking and doing?" Unquote. I said, ask, watch, and let go. That is what I do. Questions come on their own, but there are no answers. In the ultimate sense, nothing created by thinking is valuable. There are no answers to basic questions like why thoughts come and go, are we one or many, are we related to all by invisible threads. I like to do nothing but watch and feel the sensation in the body, heart, and brain. Life floats on the river of time. Time swallows everything. When this is understood and accepted, life moves swiftly and spontaneously like a fallen leaf on the rushing currents of time. Article number 683. It's about awakening of awareness. We had a dialogue yesterday evening from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Ojai Retreat on the awakening of awareness in daily living. This was some years ago. The awakening of awareness is very rare in human beings. People in whom such awareness is awakened are able to relate with nature and human beings with a fresh mind. They can speak with clarity and listen without quick reactions. They feel silence between words and sentences while speaking and listening. Their seeing is not through thinking. They see clearly how thinking is formed. They do not waste energy in unnecessary thinking about the past experiences and future uncertainty. They can feel the blessings in aloneness. They can touch the treasure buried within their mind and heart. One interesting question came in this dialogue. Are Krishnamurti schools deeply interested in the teachings of Krishnamurti? Do teachers, students, and parents of Krishnamurti schools feel that the awakening of awareness is the most important thing in education. Article number 684, it is about beauty. A lady had a beautiful experience once while she was looking at flowers. Her mind stopped and the flowers looked very clear, strangely beautiful and new. It seemed as if there was no separation between her and the flowers. But this experience remained only for a few seconds. She asked why this experience did not last longer. The experience happened by itself and it stopped by itself. The question came only because her mind came back to the normal state of thinking. The normal state is full of thinking with many problems like conflicts, desires, stress, unhappy relationship with people, etc. If our normal state of mind is free from all these problems, we can see and feel beauty more often in many things around us: trees, stars, clouds, flowers, people, birds, animals, mountains, and ocean. Then we do not desire anything. There will be no conflict between beautiful moments and daily living with various activities. It is possible to live this way. Article number 685, it is about infinite space and eternal silence. Yesterday evening, I went for a walk alone near the Lost Lake in Rishi Valley. The sun was already behind the hill, but the cave rock was still lighted by the golden rays. Birds were returning from far to their nest in trees near the lake. I sat quietly on a rock and reflected on our daily life. Our bodies are so small in infinite space, and our lifespan is so short in the infinite time. But we assert our existence by conflicts, pleasure, pain, fear, love, beauty. We narrow down our consciousness to a little center called me. In this center, which is illusory, true love and beauty cannot exist. When the center goes, there exists infinite space and eternal silence. This is love and beauty without spots of pleasure, pain, and conflicts. This was written in Rishi Valley on December 27, 1990. Article number 686, it is about meditation. Yesterday, we had a dialogue at Krishnamurti Foundation of America from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. It was about meditation. To have a meaningful dialogue, one needs freedom or space to listen what people say and also listen to one's own thoughts and feelings as they arise. Without this freedom, dialogues can become confusing and burdensome with unnecessary emotions and arguments. To be in the state of meditation is necessary to have a good dialogue on meditation. Article number 687, it is about Henry David Thoreau. Henry David Thoreau was an American poet, philosopher, and a keen observer of nature. He was born in Concord, Massachusetts in 1817 and died in 1862. He is known for his book Walden, which is about his living alone for 2 years with simplicity near the pond Walden in a forest in Concord. Thoreau was against the American government for war against Mexico. He refused to pay tax to government, for which he had to spend one night in a jail. He gave talks and wrote a book about civil disobedience based on his experience. This book affected deeply both Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. Thoreau was also very much against the custom of slavery in America. Thoreau favored protection for animals, wild areas, and disapproved slavery, consumerism, mass entertainment, and drinking of alcohol and eating of meat. Thoreau had studied Indian philosophy and was deeply attracted to Bhagavad Gita. He rejected the view that God was separate from the world. He wrote, quote, "In the morning I bath in my intellect in the stupendous and cosmogonal philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, since whose composition years of gods have elapsed, and in comparison with which our modern world and its literature seem puny and trivial." Unquote. Thoreau followed various Hindu customs, including a diet largely consisting of rice, flute playing like Krishna, and yoga. He wrote, quote, "The yogi absorbed in contemplation contributes in his degree to creation. He breathes a divine perfume, he hears wonderful things to some extent, and at rare intervals, even I am a yogi." Unquote. Thoreau has influenced civil rights movement, wilderness movement, British labor movement, national park systems, etc. He has influenced Mahatma Gandhi, John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King, Leo Tolstoy, W.B. Yeats, B.F. Skinner, Bernard Shaw, and many others.